guys, welcome to today's video. This is going to be all about mindful movement and my journey with mindful movement. As always with these types of videos that are to do with my health and my treatment and stuff, I only ever really want to do these to help people, so I hope this helps someone. Maybe you were looking for more information on mindful movement classes, or I don't know, maybe you're just looking for other ways that you can deal with your health problems. I have lupus and I have fibromyalgia, and I was referred to do a 6-week mindful movement class through my hospital. They have a gym at the hospital there, and that's where I've been doing all of my physiotherapy. And my physiotherapist said, I think you'll be a really great candidate for these classes, and the guy that runs them is really great, and I think you'd get a lot out of it and you'd really enjoy it. And I was just like, yeah, sign me up, like really excited. Any kind of movement class I am in. If you don't know this about me, I am actually a performer. I'm an actress, a dancer. I have a degree in street art, street theatre. It's just what I've done my whole life. I've danced and acted my whole life, and then I got ill, and that just made things difficult and sometimes impossible. I don't get to do that anymore, and that has been something that's been really difficult, really hard to accept. One of the hardest things about actually getting ill, I would say, has been that. And it's been a huge learning curve, and my relationship with my body in terms of movement has been very frayed and torn apart since I got ill, because I guess to the average person who just, like, I don't know, just grows up and maybe does a sport when they're little, but then kind of gives it up as they get older, and then goes and works in an office, and they like their job, and they occasionally go to the gym just to keep their fitness up, or they occasionally go for a jog, and then if they got ill, not to say that that wouldn't be awful, because it's always awful when people get ill, but just that the difference between what your body could do before and what your body can do now would be lesser than for someone like me. I've done gymnastics my whole life as well, and the stuff I used to be able to do with my body in comparison to now is just night and day. You know, I've gone from being able to do gymnastics to not being able to walk sometimes, so it's just crazy. And realising that my body can't do those things is something that my brain still struggles with. Like, sometimes I still think that I can do certain things and I cannot. So yeah, that's why I think I was a candidate for these classes. I've got my little homework sheet here. Yes, we get homework. I'm just going to read some of this to you just so you get an idea about the programme, because this is kind of what taught us about it. The central focus of the programme is intensive experiential learning in mindfulness to enable you to access your own resources for responding more effectively to stress, pain and illness. It's not a cure for serious medical conditions, however there's lots of evidence help with stress, chronic pain, all those kinds of things, mental illness. It helps to train the mind to connect with the present moment. Being mindful is not a technique that can be switched on and off, rather it is a state of being which can be gradually developed through daily practice, and daily practice is essential if you're going to get maximum outcomes. Then we had to write down like what our expectations of the course are, and I sat there and thought, and I realised I didn't really have any expectations of the course, but I did have expectations of myself, which is something that I am having to obviously deal with through this course as well, because I basically just was like, when I sat there and thought, what do I expect from this course? I expected myself to be good at it. I expected myself to pick everything up straight away. I expected myself to find it easy. So I had loads of expectations of myself rather than of the course itself, which is interesting. And it says, what do you want to get out of the course? And I just really put what was honest, which is that I just want to learn, and I want to I do want to be more mindful, and I want to learn better ways to cope with my pain, because clearly what I've been doing isn't working, because it keeps making me in different bouts like seriously depressed. A lot of my darkest moments of my entire life have been because of being frustrated and hopeless about my future when it comes to being ill and being in this much pain all the time, and just feelings that I can't do it and that I don't want to live like this forever and just stuff like that. And I know that, like, I don't want to feel that way forever, and I don't want to live like that. So yeah, I think that's why I personally thought this was going to be good for me. So it says, mindfulness is a life skill which can deepen our sense of well-being and fulfillment. It engages all of our senses as we open up to our entire experience. It's about being in the moment, realising in moments of stress, sitting there and realising where you are right now, how you're feeling right now, not anything to do with stuff that's happened in the past, and not anything to do with stuff that might happen or could happen or is going to happen in the future. Just literally dealing with the right this second, because really that's all life is just made up of moments. And if you're not in the moment, your life's just going to fly by, which I think has also been happening to me, because I've been either stuck in the past, wishing I could go back, wishing things could be how they used to be, or stuck in the future, worrying about what my life's going to be like as I get older with this illness. All the scary things they talk about to do with lupus, like heart attacks and strokes, you know, that all is constantly on my mind. So I'm really not in the moment, and I feel like years are flying by, and I haven't experienced them, which of course I have. I've been here, but I've not been here, if that makes sense. As well is that the guy that runs it kind of sat us down on, so this is like, I'm gonna vlog after every session. I've had my first session, and the guy that runs it kind of said it's not airy fairy like wellness, and it's not positive outlook, it's none of that. It's literally it's actually logical, which I like. It's like, if you're being really honest with yourself right now, what's going on, like, not hypothetical situations, right now what's going on, and right now what can you do to help that, or, you know, it's that kind of thing. And I like that a lot. It says there are certain attitudes that deepen mindfulness and support mindfulness, and those are non-judging, patience. I don't have any patience, like literally I'm the most impatient person in the world, especially with myself. Beginner's mind, trust, non-striving, and acceptance. And look, I struggle with every single one of those. I judge myself so harshly. I have no patience. Beginner's mind, I'd say, is the one that, like, I have already, because I go into everything with a completely open mind and, like, ready and willing to learn. I love learning, and I always have done. And I can suspend any disbelief I've ever had, which is why I find places like Disney World so amazing, because I can suspend my disbelief that none of it's real. Like, to me, when I'm in it, there's Winnie the Pooh right in front of me, and I'm meeting him and I'm hugging him, and, like, that's why it's so amazing, because I can suspend my disbelief. Just don't have a lot of that. Don't trust a lot of people. My trust has been broken by a lot of people, and I find it hard to trust anything. Non-striving, again, that's really hard for me, because again, if you've grown up, like, doing stuff competitively, doing, like, any physical thing competitively, and then, like, working in it where you've got to go to auditions and stuff, you're constantly striving, you're constantly wanting to be better and outdo yourself and get the job or win the competition or whatever it is, and then to have to change that mindset now at this age is really hard. And then acceptance. I have no acceptance of my illness or myself, I think, to do with my illness. Like, something I really, really struggle with. Oh, and we've also got letting go, which, again, I've struggled with that for the last, like, 8 years. Like, as soon as I started losing family members, people started passing away that I loved, I have found it really, really hard to let go of things, big and small things, just everything. I just really struggle to let go of things. Other important qualities are intention, commitment, curiosity and perseverance, kindness, gentleness and compassion. All of those are super important. Then we've got a page all about automatic pilot, which is like when you go into autopilot, you know, like how he spoke to us about how, you know, when you're driving and then suddenly you're home and you don't remember any of the journey, and how bizarre it is that we can do that and that we spend a lot of our lives doing that, and that it actually ultimately is not very good for us. So that's just like a page about that. And then this page is about the body scan and our homework. So our first piece of homework is to do, we got a link online and we had to download it and listen to it, and it's 13 minutes long, and it's a body scan, which is a mindfulness exercise. And then we also had to choose an activity that we do every day. I just picked brushing my teeth, because that was the example, one of the examples they gave. He was just like, you know, like brushing your teeth or showering. I was like, okay, I'll do brushing my teeth. Where you have to be fully just in the moment. So all you can think about whilst you're brushing your teeth is brushing your teeth. How does it feel? How does it taste? All focused on one thing, because really as well, mindfulness is about getting your mind focused and being able to focus on the now. And wow, you wouldn't believe how many things you think about when you're brushing your teeth instead of just brushing your teeth. It's just crazy. And then we had to fill out a sheet, like filling out our experiences and anything that we found. And so I'll just go more into the body scan. So the body scan is like lay down and she talks you through from your feet and then all the way up your legs and all the way up your body to your breathing, and then all the way up your arms to your head and then your overall body, and just honing in for those few moments that's what she's telling you to do. So it's your feet, on just your feet. How are they feeling? Are they hot or cold? Are they tingling? Are they numb? Can I not feel anything really? And it's all meant to be without any judgment. So I found a lot these last couple of days when I've started doing it that I'm very judgmental. I categorise everything I do as good or bad, and so every time my mind wandered I was getting annoyed, I was getting frustrated, I was saying that I'm bad at this, I'm not good at it. And I lived a life before I got ill where nearly everything I tried I was good at. Like, I found everything easy, and I just was one of those people that was good at a lot of things, and now I feel like I'm not good at anything. Oh, that was sad. So yeah, I wrote that down in my like notes. The lovely bit about visualising your breath coming in and swooping around your head, like clearing out your head and nourishing your body, and then leaving and getting rid of, like, just letting go of it and then doing it again with every breath. And I really enjoyed that. I felt I could like literally feel myself relaxing as I did that. I've noticed that a lot of my distracting thoughts as well are to do with healthcare, and I don't really know how to fix that, because so what I mean by healthcare is, like, I kept thinking, gotta ring the doctors later, gotta get my prescription tomorrow, gotta remember to take that new pill today, gotta remember to do my eye drops, gotta remember, do you know what I mean? There's like a million and one things that go into sustaining myself with this illness, and exhausting and hard, and I feel a lot that I get let down by doctors. So I don't I feel like I'm the only one that has my back when it comes to my health, so I have to take everything really seriously and make sure I do everything on time and the right way, and it's just a lot. And I realise that really consumes my mind, and how can I enjoy life and living when all I'm worrying about is like the next tablet, the next doctor's appointment, the next phone call to the hospital. Too much, it's too much for one person, and I found that a lot. So just a bit more about the first session. So the sessions are an hour and a half long, which flies by. Seems like it's really long, but it's really not. There was only like 10 of us maybe, and all women, and then the guy that runs it, which I thought was lovely. There was only one other girl in her 20s, and then everyone else was older than us, a lot of like older women, but 2 other women in there that have fibro, which was amazing to like connect with them. I just cried a lot. We did this thing where we just went round and like introduced ourselves and said why we were there and what we wanted out of it. And I didn't cry as I was explaining my own one. I held it together for that. But when other people were talking about like what they've been through, I'm such an empath and I'm just such a feeler, and I cried a lot. They were crying, so I was crying, and that was that. We all agreed to like keep things private, so I'm obviously not going to go into like what people said, but just everyone's got their shit, man, and like a lot of people have been through a lot, and yeah, but it was so it was really emotional, but it was really nice because I feel like we all connected, and it's just so important when you get an illness to find people that are living with the same thing, because you just can't imagine how that opens up your world and makes you feel validated and heard, and honestly it's just huge. So I really say to you, if you have an illness, find some sort of community. I went searching for like chronic illness bloggers online. I joined the Lupus UK like social medias, and then you'll see regular people commenting on there, and you can reach out to them. Then we did a quick little mindful exercise whilst we were in there. He talked us through it. It was lovely. But I could feel myself getting really emotional, like really emotional. And it was just that you know, as we were scanning our bodies, I could feel all the pain and all the hurt in my body and in my system, and it just made me sad. I just felt sad and sorry for myself. Which a few people said actually that they felt that way, and I think also like when you go to one of these classes, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's just a class, whatever. It's a big step in your healthcare to make the commitment to a 6-week course where it's an hour and a half every week, and it's a form of therapy, you know. So it's like, it is exhausting and it's demanding emotionally and physically, because we're all unwell in there. So it's like it's a big deal. And so I think when you finally get in that first session and then you feel comfortable and it's just like this release, I think everyone was kind of feeling that way. But yeah, I'm really positive. I'm feeling really positive. We didn't do any like real movement, which at first I was like being me and being like, oh, why didn't we move? I wanted to get moving. That's like, but then I just, after about 5 minutes of being in there, I just let it go and was like, you know what? I'm going to trust the process, because what's the point? And I really am going to throw myself into this, because how can I be annoyed if how can I be annoyed about not getting results if I'm not doing the work and not being open-minded? I can't. So yeah, it was really good, and I'm really excited for the next session. I'm going to do these weekly, and then I'm going to upload it all together once I've finished the course with like my final thoughts. But going into it, my first session was great, and I really like the guy who runs it. I have some trust issues with strange men because of a sexual assault that happened to me a few years ago, and I just find that hard. But he was really great, and I feel comfortable with him, so that's really nice. And actually my physiotherapist there is a man as well, and he's the same. I felt really nervous about it being a man in the beginning, but he's lovely, and they both make me feel very at ease and comfortable and safe. So good times. I will see you in the next week's vlog. Bye. Hi lovelies, welcome to part 2 of this vlog. I've been to my second session at my mindful movement classes, got my homework sheet, and yeah, today we actually did some movement, which was really exciting. We started in the room that we started in last week, but then we eventually moved into the gym. There was a new, was there one or two? There was a couple of new ladies this week. I felt really bad because I walked in as one of them was like opening up about why she was there, and I felt awful. But they both seem really lovely as well. We've got a really nice group actually. I think everyone's really great, and yeah, we went into the gym and we just did like really slow, simple, easy movements. It was like walk around the room just really slowly, but concentrate on your heel toe, and just really be in the moment. Just think about what direction you're going to go in, and but as you're doing it, like just really be in the moment and concentrate on the movement. And then we did some very simple walking backwards and forwards, and then we got a little bit faster, and some balancing, and just really slow, easy, simple stuff. And it's funny because like I really struggle, and even my physiotherapist says this, because and the leader of this class said it to me today, said this is movement, Jessica. And I was like, I know, but my head doesn't know it. Like the smallest thing, like watch my hand, that is movement. And it is, but I think of movement as like running at the top speed on a treadmill for 20 minutes until you can't breathe, like, and that's my problem. That's just a me thing, and it's something I'm working on. It's been a long journey of working on it, really just trusting the process and like letting go and just being there and following what he's saying and trusting that it'll work. Felt really great, and I didn't feel in the moment as competitive with myself or as judgmental of myself. I was just doing it, and I think that's what we're meant to be doing, so that made me happy. I just really enjoyed it. It was great. It was tiring though, like I could feel it in my body, you know, like after I'd done the movement. Did some stuff focusing on the breath, and I'm just going to read this off of today's homework. So it says, focusing on the breath, let's start again. Focusing on the breath brings you back to this very moment, the here and now. It is always available as an anchor and haven no matter where you are. Focusing on your breath can actually change your experience by connecting you with a wider space and a broader perspective from which to view things. I really like the idea of that, like your breath's always going to be like moving around with you, and if you're somewhere or in a situation where it's very stressful or it's hectic or you're anxious or worried or scared or whatever, just hone in on your breath and take a few breaths, just concentrating on just the breath. It really changes the whole vibe in your body. Like you just feel calm and relaxed and soothed. It's the weirdest thing, but something so simple, but it really does work. I talked about walking meditation, and I'd really like to start doing this, but I feel like I need to build up to it because I don't want to hurt myself whilst I'm doing this course, if that makes sense. So I want to do this course, and then that's something I'd really like he just said, like going for a walk, but just going really slowly, and don't have music, don't have your phone, just really just think, just be in the moment. And I love being outdoors, so that really appealed to me. But I just think it's been a long time since I was able to like go for a walk, and I need to build up to that. I definitely don't want to like injure myself. It's about like primary and secondary suffering. So like my illness creates pain, makes me feel pain. I'm in pain because of my illness. That's the primary suffering, and the secondary suffering is me beating myself up about the pain, being frustrated about the pain, being sad or angry about the pain, being short-tempered, and really just sitting there festering in the pain and like really focusing on the pain, which, listen, it is so hard. And sorry, my camera cut out and I don't really know where I was, but I think I was talking about primary and secondary suffering. And so basically he kind of talked us through and said mindfulness won't fix the primary suffering necessarily, depends what it is, but it can definitely help the secondary suffering. You know, the way you view your pain, the way you view your suffering, the way you view your fatigue, the way you view your illness, the way you view your body. It can change all of that, and that's what I need. So on with last week's homework. I really enjoyed doing it. I found myself looking forward to doing it. I did fall asleep twice. I thought, oh, this would be lovely, because of how relaxed it makes me, this would be lovely to do before bed. So I got in bed and I laid down, and then it was like I was listening to it and I don't remember past like the feet or the legs. I just zonked out and that was me gone. So it definitely does work to relax me and send me off to sleep, but that's not the point at the moment. Like, I'm meant to be, it's an exercise, I'm exercising my brain, I'm retraining my brain and my thinking and my mind, and so I need to be like doing it actively rather than falling asleep. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. I really love the movement side of things. I'm really excited to see where this goes, like what happened next, what next week's going to be like. Just, yeah, really enjoying it. Do you like my makeup, by the way? This is the way I've been wearing it loads again. You know what, and I think it's basically the makeup I wore this time last year, like my spring go-to makeup is the Too Faced Life's a Festival palette with the yellow and the pink. I just think it suits my face, and it's like easy and light and airy and cute. So I've been doing this a lot. That's all. I'm gonna go now. I hope you're having a lovely day. Oh no, quickly, our homework this week is to do a sitting meditation for 6 minutes every day, which they've given us a track to listen to, and then to continue on with doing the track from last week, which was the body scan, but to alternate days and do a movement one. So we've got a movement one for home, which is really exciting, can't wait to do that. And then also it says to stop and pause during your day and be aware of when your mind is going into autopilot. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll see you next week. Guys, welcome to part 3, day 3, week 3, session 3 of my mindful movement classes. So I thought I'd actually start this one by going over my like how I got on with my homework from last week. So I really enjoyed the sitting meditation, 6-minute one. It just flies by in an instant, but it's all focused on breathing and your breath, and I find that easier than focusing on body parts. I don't know if that's because of my pain. So like when I'm, oh, excuse me. Wow. When I'm focusing on like my knees and they really hurt, that's distracting. So yeah, I find it easier to sit and focus on my breath, I guess. Doing the movement, it was really great feeling my body move in that way again, and like, you know, just like the way your muscles stretch and a little bit of that muscle ache you get from exercise I haven't experienced in so long. And then even doing these little exercises, I've been getting that, and it's been nice. Like I'm a weirdo, I enjoy it. I guess the last thing to say is just that I pushed myself too hard though with the movement. I actually pulled a muscle in my side on one of the stretches. You got to like reach up as high as you can, and I just really overdid it, and I knew in the moment I was overdoing it, but I was like, yeah, but if I can do this today, think how much I can do tomorrow. And that's just not the way it's going to be. I need to slow down, trust it, let go, and just the thing that my physiotherapist kept saying to me before I started this about this class was like how you're exploring the soft edge of movement. So like here's staying still, sedentary, and then like here's like your hard edge of movement, so like the most you can possibly do and it will like hurt you, and full exertion. You want to be like on the soft edge of that. You don't want to be, you want to be pushing yourself, but not to where it hurts or is uncomfortable. Push yourself to the edge of where it's comfortable, if that makes sense. And I didn't do that. I pushed myself too hard and I pulled a muscle and it hurt, and yeah, it just wasn't good. So but week 3, it's been a couple of days. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sleepy bear. this week we went over stress and our patterns of reactivity and responding versus reacting, which is something that I need work on. We talked about there's like different types of stress: acute stress, chronic stress, eustress and distress. And then there's this lovely little diagram of the ways in which stress affects the body, which no one needs to tell me that. I know it does because I feel it. We got given this 3-minute breathing space practice, which we actually did in the class, which was really, really nice. And this week there wasn't movement again, but there was, we did a couple of different exercises whilst in the room. I actually had a death in the family this week, and at the beginning I got there early because the last couple of times I was late and I felt bad, so I got there really early. And I went into the room, there was only a couple of us there, but someone had put on like a meditation app, and it was playing this lovely music and the sound of water, and we all just were like, he kind of guided us through a little quick meditation of like sitting there and letting yourself be with the sound. And it was like sad music from a film with water, and I just got really emotional. I think the death in the family like brought up my nan's death, because the person that passed I'm not like particularly close with. It's like a more distant family member, but I just feel like now, when I've lost as many people as I have, you experience a new loss and it brings up all the old loss, and it kind of did that. And I'd been thinking about my nan recently anyway. She's been on my mind a lot actually. I felt like she's with me a lot of the time, which some people might find weird, but I swear she's with me. And I keep thinking of her and then seeing like patterns of numbers, which is meant to be like angel numbers, or I'll think of her and then like a white feather will land on me and weird stuff like that. Anyway, and then yeah, I think that just brought it all up. So we were sitting there and I could really feel myself getting really emotional, and he kind of said, you know, feel whatever you're feeling, but I was fighting it so hard. I was sitting there like no, because I could feel I was like gonna ugly cry in the class, and I don't really like care these days about crying in those types of classes, because what you're doing is like raw and real, and the stuff you're talking about is really hard stuff. But I didn't want to like ugly cry when there's only like 2 of us there, do you know what I mean? So I was like really fighting it, and I could feel like how awful it felt inside my body to fight those emotions. He said this thing about like, imagine your thoughts as they like pop in and interrupt your practice, because when you're doing it you're like really focused, and then all of a sudden something random will pop into your head. And he was like, just see it and then let it, like imagine it going, like clouds in the sky or like cars on the motorway, just they come and they go. And that was really good, and I feel like that's something I'll use when I'm stressed, like all the stuff just coming and going, and it's fine to let it go. And he said like don't sit there and like obsess over things. I said that's exactly what I do. Like something will be upsetting me or stressing me out, or something will come up. Another one. I'm so sorry. I feel awful. I'm so sorry. Something will come up, and then I'll obsess over it and think about it non-stop until I can come up with a solution. But there is no solution and there is no answer, because often it's stuff to do with other people, and like people aren't answers. You can't fix people. You can't change people, and it's just stuff like that. Like I will sit there and obsess until I find an answer, and there isn't always an answer. So you have to be okay with there not being an answer and just letting things go, which is something that I'm learning. We talked about like your fight or flight reaction and response, which, oh my god, this is ridiculous now. Okay, I'm going to make this quick. I'm actually getting another form of therapy for, because mine is like, the doctors think mine is just like constantly engaged. Like I'm forever in fight or flight, which is why I can't relax and why I can't heal and why I always feel so unwell. Which happens with any kind of trauma, and trauma of the body, and illness is trauma of the body. And then we talked about your physical barometer, which is like sites where your body expresses distress patterns, and it says like common sites are chest, stomach, back of head, neck, shoulder area, or below the neck, I experience all of those. So yeah, that kind of goes into our homework this week. We've got to kind of focus. I'm so sorry. Kind of figure out where ours is and try to, like it says, notice if you are blocking, numbing or shutting off from the moment when it happens and how this feels in the body. When do you notice yourself refusing or resisting what is happening at the time? And when do you find yourself willing to embrace the moment? And then our homework is to remember to try and stop and pause throughout the day. Do the 3-step breathing space at least 3 times during the day. And practice the guided sitting meditation and mindful movement on alternate days. So I've been doing the mindful body scan and the sitting meditation on like one day, and then the next day doing the movement. So today was a movement day. And then doing those 3-step breathing spaces in between throughout the day, which I do find really great, like just as a little like anchor to calm you down. Maybe some of you watching will need that, so should I read it to you, like how to do it? There are 3 steps to this practice. Number 1, attend to what is. The first step invites attending broadly to one's experience, noting it but without the need to change what is being observed. So don't be like, oh, I feel this, I'm going to fix it. Like, just notice what you're feeling. I think, well, what we did, it was just like sitting up, being like in a fairly alert position, but making sure you're comfortable. And with your eyes open or closed, but closed I find it easier because then there's less to distract you. Focus on the breath. The second step narrows the field of attention to a single pointed focus of the breath in the body. So just literally sit there and focus on your breath, how it feels, your chest moving in and out, your rib cage moving, your belly moving, the feeling of the air in your nostrils or in your mouth, all of those things, the sound of it. And then number 3 is to attend to the whole body. So the third step widens attention again to include the whole body as a whole and any sensations that are present. It's just as simple as that, and it's just a 3-minute thing. Zip, zap, zom, and you're done. Which I think is like, everyone's got 3 minutes, and it really does make a difference. I've got to fill out this halfway review this week because it's session 3 of 6, which I'm already getting sad about it being over. And I've got to answer, what am I learning through this process? How am I changing? And what do I need to make the best use of the rest of the course? Which I'm not going to go into now. I'll go into in next week's segment because I haven't filled it out yet and I want to really think about my answers. This session was really actually empowering. We talked a lot about the way society has given women certain roles and how that changes us. Like, we're expected from a very young age to be more responsible, eat after everyone else has eaten, tidy up after people, be quiet, be small, all of these things, and that affects the way we function as adults, as women, because of course it is. It's like social conditioning, and we kind of discussed that based on a couple of the women's experiences in the room. They were talking about different things, and it was so obvious that had come from a lifetime, and they were like older women, a lifetime of social conditioning of like, this is how you should act and this is how you should feel. And oh, it was just really nice. We like kind of broke that down, and there was a lot of us high-fiving each other and a lot of like, preach. It was just great. Like, we really connected again and helped each other. There was a lady that was really struggling with something she was going through, and being able to all like pull together and help each other was really, really amazing. And actually, like, I had a couple of different women come up to me at the end and tell me that stuff I had said in the session had helped them, and oh my god, that really made something click, and oh, I'm going to really take that away with me. And I was like, wow, like, we're really helping each other as well, which is just an amazing feeling. And that's why I do these videos as well, is to like help people. And like, one day when I've got this like down, when I'm like fully feeling my mindful self, I will do a proper video about like how you can be more mindful as well, because also a lot of people are co-opting mindfulness and turning it into this like wellness diet culture, social media culture thing of like how you can use it as a way to be like more productive and get more done and do 10 million things before the start of the day. that's not really what it's for at all. It's just literally about being in touch with your body and your mind, and being in the moment and living in the present, and being able to hear every signal your body's giving you and react in a way that is helpful. It's stuff like that. It's not anything to do with like dieting or work hard, play hard mantra. It's just not. So it's annoying seeing that now that I've started doing the classes, but I'm really loving it. This session was really, I came out just feeling great. Like, we really lifted each other, and a lot of us had different breakthroughs. So yeah, it was just really, really great. I'm really enjoying it. And that's all I've got to say. So I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next segment. Bye.